So if you go to the changelog here, the new model has been added: R1, Deepseek V3 and o3-Mini model. So let's download some yummy food, pizza, something like that. Okay, this looks fine. Click on the save image and let's see if it does work or not. Okay, something is not working right now. So the model will evaluate that. So let me go ahead and copy this here. So let me go and add that again. There is some error failed to compile. Let me just copy this. Paste that here. Okay, so it started thinking about it and self-evaluating it, and there it is. It's giving me the full code here. Just copy this and replace everything here. Paste that here. As you can see, the problem has been gone. A biggest upgrade to Windsurf users that they have integrated Deepseek V3 version, R1 reasoning, as well as o3-Mini model, which is launched yesterday. So in this video, we are going to test that out and create a new app called AI Calorie Calculator based on your camera or by uploading your images. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe that, because we are going to cover each and every development in AI in the future and test that out ourselves and let you know about each advancement, how it's going to benefit you or your freelance life. So let's get started. So if you go to the changelog here, the new model has been added: R1, Deepseek V3 and o3-Mini model, and they have available to all the paid users plans only, o3-Mini model. And if you want to test that out, you may get Deepseek R1 and Deepseek V3 version as well. So if I go to the Windsurf here, as you can see, if there is a right option, and they have added this G4 o3-Mini, which is the medium reasoning, and the V3 and R1 version. So about the o3-Mini model, they have a three types of reasoning: low, mini and high. And in my experience, what I have tested out yet is only for the debugging the code, because it's actually pretty slow and it takes some time to create, because it self-evaluates stuff and then they start writing the code. So what we are going to do is we are going to test the o3-Mini model here, Deepseek V3 and Deepseek R1 as well. So what we are going to create is, let's first open the folder here. I'm going to the download and create a new folder called AI Calorie. So that's it. If I go open, and there you go, and now open our chat here. So first we are going to create a Next.js project. For that, first, I'm going to select the o3-Mini, create Next.js project, and let's wait for it and click on accept. All the dependencies to be installed. Okay, so it says it's set up. Let me run this npm run dev. Yeah, so our project is live here. Let me go to the live project here. Okay, so welcome to Next.js. This is your next project. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to create a AI Calorie Calculator. So for that, I have already created a roadmap. So a user lands on the page and upload the image, and API sends a message and gets a message from the API and output information. And for this part, I'm going to use the Google's free API, which is called the Gemini Flash 2.0 experimental free, and you can get it from openrouter.ai, and you can also get from the Vertex AI. So however you want, you can go ahead and get the same, because I use OpenRouter for all the configuration to my model, so I will be using this, and there is the API documentation as well. So first, let's create a chatbot or a page, whichever we want to create. So for the docs, what you need to do is you need to just copy this, that's it, and send to here, and then provide details about the food macros, that is protein, carbs, fat, total calorie. So for this now, it's actually the better to do it step by step and don't give everything to the whole roadmap. So I given a very basic prompt here to let the Windsurf work for just minimal work. So if you give everything in the one go, though, it will get confused and don't give a exact output you want. Okay, so let me just type this out and let's see. So in my experience, o3-Mini model is actually very slow, because obviously the reasoning as we compare to the Deepseek R1, because Deepseek R1 is pretty fast and even in the reasoning is pretty fast, so it will just create more time to create something, but it's pretty different if we compare to the O1 model. So let's just wait. Okay, so they have the drop zone uploader, and there's editing the index.js. So importing the drop zone component along with React statex, implementing drag and drop UI upload that displays a preview of the image, and when the image is dropped, the file is previewed and the code makes an API call to this, and including the basic error handling, this, passing this. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, so it's giving this error. So whenever you encounter error, just drop the error here and it will start fixing it. And let's wait for the new dependencies to be installed. So let's go. Let me install. There you go. And now npm run dev. And okay, so it's actually very basic AI Calorie Calculator, but to use this, we need to integrate our API. And now let's go to settings here. keys and create. I'm giving the name to test. Click on create. Here I'm copying this. So, and for the component here, okay, so before going to create env store open router key securely, because obviously we don't want our APIs to be exposed, so we need to create a env to store the open router API key. So there's this. Click on accept, and that's it. Now let's go to this. Where is our app? Yeah, so let's select. Let me go to. Okay, so there is this terminal. Let's fix this first. So there's a failed to compile error. Obviously we just need to give this to here. So it's keep on breaking it. I don't know why. So let's just move on to this Deepseek R1 and let's see if it can actually solve the problem. So the Deepseek R1 is a better version, I would say, for the reasoning, because it starts instantly and it self-evaluates stuff. For example, if you go to the thinking part, let's tackle this problem and this, it will go each and every steps and start investigating the issue. And after investigating the issue, it will start adding the code as well, as you can see here. So if you click on the insert here, click on insert and insert. Implement the fixes. So obviously it doesn't write it anything, so let's just implement the fixes. So if you go to the summary of the thinking part, okay, so I don't think it's keep on breaking, unable to use this cascade. And let me go ahead and copy this and paste that by myself. So there you go. And let me just go to the new terminal here, install the dependency again. There you go. Now let's run it again. Port is in use, so 301 will be new port. So let's download some yummy food, pizza, something like that, for example. Let's just go ahead. Okay, this looks fine and realistic. It's from the Domino's, obviously. Click on the save image and let's see if it does work or not. Okay, something is not working right now. So the model will evaluate that, and let me give you the output again. And here is the API docs again to see if there is an issue or not. So let me go ahead and copy this here. And for that part, there is the image URL it can read. So there is functionality to add that. So let me go and add that again. Okay, so we are using Deepseek R1. We have this o3 portal because it doesn't do anything. Maybe it's in the beta version yet, and it's also very slow as you compared to the Deepseek R1. So it says that let's modify the API call to properly send the image data. That's correct, and there you go. Okay, so this is in pages. So consider handle drop. Okay, let me fix this. So this is what we need to try. Add this here. So let me just copy that here until this. Paste that here. Click on save. So the temperature penalty, this started from here until here. I think we need to add that just above here. Yeah, correct. So Cosmos syntax error. Okay. Let's put that here. Getting the syntax error in the index.js, so expression expected, and this. There is some error failed to compile. Let me just copy this. Paste that here. Okay, so it started thinking about it and self-evaluating it, and there it is. As you can see, so these reasoning models are actually for the debugging and nothing else, because it's in the beta version. Maybe the Windsurf team is actually optimizing these models for the writing purpose, but it doesn't write. It will give you the snippet code in the chat and doesn't write itself. So to write itself, you need to use their Claude or the code base or even a Deepseek v3 version. It's also really good for this. And as you can see here, so let's fix the syntax in your this. It's giving me the full code here, as you can see. I hope there is no rest of the code comment in anywhere. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy this and replace everything here, paste that here. As you can see, the problem has been gone, so it's now working. So let me just load the pizza again. So it's loading. Okay, certainly let's analyze the pizza content. So as you can see, this is the protein is about 75 grams and the 500 calories. So next, what I want to do is I want to optimize our interface. Okay, so our app is working, so we are getting all the macros here. So let's just create something out of it and create our UI a better. And how to create that better? So for that, let's test Deepseek v3 version. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new chat. For example, if you want to create an app or just like this, first you need to create a prototype app. So this is your prototype app. Everything is working fine, and now we need to move on to the UI part or optimize our app for a better UI. And to do that, first we don't need all this information. We just need the macros here, the protein, this and this. Okay, and for this we will need to create a nice charts. Okay, and for that part, let's go ahead and now test it out Deepseek v3 version. to make it pop. Okay, so for the color, I suggest you to go with the color hunt. So yeah, colorhunt.co, and there you can pair it for, I will be going with the dark. So you can use this for the food, for the AI calorie calculator. So I suggest you to go with this. So this I need to be as a background, as background color, and this I want it to be ambience color. We have given the right permission. Let's see if it can actually write the code. Yes, it started editing the code. So Deepseek R1 is all over the reasoning, I would say. So let's just test it out. Okay, so failed to compile, give the context here, some package was missing. Okay, it's done. There is still failed to compile, and as you can see, it doesn't resolve our error. So what we are going to do is we are going to go with the Deepseek R1, and let's just wait if it can actually do that. So it started thinking, it started self-evaluating it, and now it start writing it. So let's install the missing this framer motion, and there's a framer motion was also missing that Deepseek version 3 omitted, and there you go, that the framer motion is installed and the food icon pattern and everything is there. So let's just wait. So there is a server error. So whenever you encounter such errors, just give them the error and we'll start optimizing their code for, obviously, for that. So much evaluation is going on here. Okay, so it just failed to point out the error. Let's just go for our, okay, so nothing is working. Deepseek V3 didn't resolve this error, and as well as R1. Now let's just test the o3-Mini model here, and if it can actually do that. Otherwise we will back to our Claude because it actually works the best and provide the best result. And let's just wait for the search in the pages, searching for the files in pages. So let's see. Okay, so here's the thing, that something you are watching this live here on the video. So from past 24 hours I've been testing these models, and I regret to say that because it doesn't work as well as efficient as we compare to the Claude and Oro model, because that gives a better output, understand our prompt better, and it will provide the best way to, you know, deal with such errors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ditch all these new models here and going to revert back to the working one. So the creator dark this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to revert here. Okay, and now I'm going to select that in the Claude desk. So let me see if it's missing required components here. I think it's, so let's just inspect that what is missing here. Okay, so failed to compile with the status of 404 not found, and let me go ahead. It's running in 3 here. Yeah, so let's just test again if it's work. So there's no response from the API. First what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the Claude 3.5 analyze the code base. Okay, now let me just type this out. Create a dark UI based statement and help you create a modeling, and let me package it with required dependencies. So it will start doing that. So now it's starting to create a configuration file for the tailwind, which O3 model and the Deepseek R1, Deepseek V3 doesn't do that, which is the missing one. So it will started doing that. As you can see, post CSS configures as also. So let's create a global CSS file. There you go. So Claude 3.5 is far superior if you go in the coding part. Maybe those models work for debugging, but if you want to create a systematic way to create your app using these tools, I think 3.5 is far superior. There's no comparison yet. Maybe the benchmarks are there, but on the practical term, I think 3.5 is way better. Even the 4.0 model is way better. So let's just wait for this. So last or not least, which is npm install all the dependencies. So they have created the index.js, optimize the code, post CSS tailwind, and there you go. So this is installed, and now it will run our dev. So it's now hosted on the 3004. Let's go for it. So cannot be imported, something is, so let me just copy this error and put that, maybe accept all the file. Yeah, the error is there. Just give the error and we start optimizing our code for it. Click on apply all. So there you go. So now let's add our this. So we have a protein, we have this. So it's actually working. Now we obviously need to be more specific about this interface because it just looks really ugly. So let's just go ahead. So let's see if it can actually optimize our app for this. Okay, so here it is. If I go to refresh, and there you go, the full page is here, and let me just open that. So it just move on to the left and it start loading it, and let's just wait for our output, and there you go. So it is actually giving me all the information, but we don't want that. Okay, so we need to improve that again. and write one paragraph. So that's it. So everything is fine, but we don't need this whole output here. Obviously, we just need these contents, for example, protein, carbs, and this is this, the calories, and rest we don't want that, but we want to add that as a overview, as a context, that is it bad for you or is it not good for you, and how you're going to prepare your meal next. So for that we need to add the context here. So let's just wait and circle progresses with this, and I will update the UI to show the key metrics with glowing circle charts. Yes, add meal overview, and let's modify the components. So it will start up and modify the components. So best way to add the components is to either keep iterating it, but what the drawback of this is, it will keep using your credits from your account. For example, if you go to the cascade usage here, I have all 9 days left, but I have already used the 352 credits already, but we have 500 used, and there is a sleep and flow credits which is around there. So let's just wait for the solution here. There we go. Improve the API responses, something like that, and let's just create an app out. So the calories, this. So everything is perfect, but it's not giving the calories what we want. And let's just run that all again. Okay, there is a server error. So there's a server error. Let's give the server error and let's see. Okay, so let's see now. 306 is the, let's test this. So that's actually the perfect. So we have eaten 1700 calories here, 45 grams of protein, this much of grams of, and there's the fat. So this is about the Windsurf using these new models and how you can create app like this using Open Router API key from the free API key, and you can create this free app. So if you want me to create a AI calorie tracker app, not only this, with user authentication, I will continue this particular app and create more. And for that, you need to subscribe to this channel. And for the full length video, how to create calorie tracker for yourself, how to use your phone calorie tracker based on the macros, based on your BMI, and you can optimize that. Any user can input that BMI tracker and input that information of their weight, height, and we will use the BMI metrics to create a total calorie to consume per day, and they can track that as per the requirement. And if you want me to create a full-fledged SaaS AI calorie tracker app, then do subscribe to the channel, because that will be a longer video. This is just a short version of how you can start creating using this. So now concluding about the o3-Mini and Deepseek model, both are not up to the mark. It may be a good for reasoning, for debugging the code, but in my experience, as you saw, that it doesn't perform anything as we compare to the Claude 3.5, which is far better than the rest of this. So maybe it's in the beta version, that is why, because I'm holding back all my judgments here. As you also saw that Claude 3.5 Sonnet worked flawlessly, and the same goes for the 4.0 model as well. So maybe they are pretty new model, that is why. Maybe Windsurf hasn't optimized that for the software, maybe that is why. So how did you find these models? And if you're a Windsurf user, let me know what are your experience regarding the Deepseek R1 o3-Mini reasoning model as well. So see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.